Hey guys, it's Woody the Unexceptional Gamer, and forgive the title. The title's total nonsense. I love Whiteboy. I love Syndicate. I get along great with them. I talk to them on Skype, stuff like that. Some of them, I know in the case of Whiteboy, I meet him in real life a couple times a year. But I just wanted to talk about the tactics that people use to grow and get attention on YouTube. And I thought, as sort of a joke, I'd make this title. So you can make that dislike a like now. You don't have to, get all upset about it. But here's the deal. There's been a lot of things that people have done on YouTube in an effort to grow, to get subs and views and things like that. And I thought I'd talk about the history of them and then what actually works, what actually can make a YouTube channel successful. So here, let's get started. This might be a long video. Settle in and we'll talk. Back in the day, back at the start, it was all about like collaboration and networking and working together. I know, heck, Painkiller already sort of started as something like that. Like Wings of Redemption, Kyle and I and a couple other friends like Onslaught and Teamwork. They were tiny at the time. I think Onslaught didn't even have a YouTube channel. But, just the idea that you can grow faster as like a tiny little sub network than you can by yourself was sort of one of the original concepts. That's what happened. I saw Optic do it. And I was like, wow, that works out really well for them. I feel like the Optic, network, Optic Nation, whatever you want to call them, they were more successful as a team than I think any of them would be by themselves, with perhaps the exception of Optic Hex himself. But a guy like Optic Predator, for example, I think did better in the Optic network than he would have just as like a solo entity. Optic D-Treats, all those guys do better than they would if they were just, one of the other sort of not stamp of approval sort of, sniper guys. And, I worked together and created my own like little sort of network of friends and stuff like that. And that was sort of one of the first things that people did. That's kind of died out. Like you don't really see people working together like that anymore, except for the oldest friends. And like for me personally, I can explain it. I feel used, like sometimes I get knocked for not helping out smaller channels, but that's totally wrong. Like Painkiller already is up to 102 episodes right now, and that's had a ton of smaller channels on it. Commentary March Madness was like 120 or 160 videos, something like that, all featuring channels smaller than mine. I did dual comms for people who donated to charity forever, and these were all tiny channels. I think that's how Merca Durka got his start. But the challenge for me is it seems like after I help people, then often I get backstabbed, and it's made me really kind of tighten up, who I meet now. Like, the backstabbers have ruined it for, the next wave of YouTubers who might want to be my friend, because I'm really kind of cautious. Like, is this guy just using me? Is it like, so anyway, like the era of the dual comm where people kind of cross promote each other has kind of faded away. Like it used to be like, hey, we'll do a dual comm on yours, you'll do a dual comm on mine, and that's ended. And then the next thing that happened was people started praising bigger YouTubers. They said, I love this guy, I love this guy. And, I had like, people were writing songs about me all the time, right? And, it's not just one guy. If you're thinking of one guy, just clear your mind. I'm not talking about anybody in particular. But it seemed like there were songs or there were rap songs or whatever coming out about me all the time. And then they'd say, hey, Woody, I mentioned you in this song. Can you give it a like, a favorite? Can you tweet it? Can you tell everyone about it? Can you make a promotional vid for it? Because I said your name in my song. And I would see it all the time. It seemed like every week there was a new song, and it would mention like 30 commentators, and then they would reach out to like all 30 looking for promotion, trying to get their channels sort of to step up. And then after that, and this seems to be the current era that we're in, came the hate video, right? Like what I want to do is I want to call out this guy. I had a guy offer to fight me at PAX. People have it all twisted. They think I, tried to initiate the fight, but that's not what happened. He called me out to fight at PAX on Twitter, and I accepted. I have guys, mention, F WoodysGamertag in their title and stuff like that, just to make it happen. And by the way, I should mention that, like in terms of copying, I got the concept for this title, from somebody else who did it to me, and then also talked about, he's talking about YouTube drama, not just channel success in general. But anyway, yeah, so now the latest wave of making a channel grow seems to be to hate on a bigger YouTuber. And it's not just I Fly Illini. If you don't know the whole drama behind that thing, I Fly Illini felt like his content was being copied by Raw Instinct. Raw Instinct was copying his, but to a much larger extent, he was copying Team Art. And when he didn't get a shout out in order to sort of buy his silence, he put up a video exposing Raw Instinct as pretty much a plagiarist. So, yeah, now that thing where they kind of like, expose a big YouTuber or, try to, find flaws in him, real or imagined, is the new way that small channels are using bigger channels to grow. So it went from like begging for dual comms to praising them to now they hate on them. And these are the tactics that I see employed a lot. And they're all kind of get rich quick schemes. And they never seem to work quite that well. Now, I know there's exceptions, right? Like sometimes you see a guy explode and this and that. But it's really about the content. I've seen so many explosions before, but if the content doesn't support the creator, then the channel falls apart. And, like Flux HD is a great example. And this is an example I actually took a lot of heat for. We had a young guy on Painkiller already, and we were calling subs. And this guy... he's like, can I say my YouTube channel? And he asked for advice on how to grow. And, the three guys on Painkiller already all know how to grow a YouTube channel. And I think Only Use Me Blade was on that show as well. So it was like a pretty good panel for how to grow a YouTube channel. And we all gave him like, some advice. Like, if your audio is bad, redo the commentary. If this happens, that happens. Be sure to put out a good product. Be sure to, vary your videos. We were giving him how to make videos advice. And at one point, he nervously was like, I'm just so happy. I can't believe this. Can I say my channel name? And he gained like 300 subs, something like that. And then he was like shaking and trembling with happiness from the gain in subs. And then it just boosted more and more. And eventually he gained like 13,000 subs in the next 2 days. Because it wasn't that we were just giving him shout out. I think we've given shout outs before and people don't get 13,000 subs. What made him so special was just how like jittery and happy his sub growth made him, and it was like his sub growth was an event in itself that people wanted to participate in. The thing is, he was a young guy. He was 13 years old, and over time, people didn't love every video he made, and people started to unsub. And even as normally channels see like a steady growth. But this poor guy, like he saw sort of a steady decline. He still had a sizable channel, 15,000 subs or something. But it seemed like every day it went down. I think he stopped making videos or closed his channel. That happens a lot, right? People get these sort of boosts in fame. They get themselves on the map through luck, and everyone else thinks, "Oh my gosh, like this luck is the key to making a successful channel," and it's not. It's not. So here's the key to making a successful channel: make good videos. If you make videos that people like to see, then your channel is going to do well. And people say, oh, no, but the problem is you can't get noticed anymore. The problem is that the market is too saturated and people just don't see my videos. It was so easy back when you started. And to some extent, that's true-ish, right? It is true that there are more people making Call of Duty videos than there used to be. There are more people making gaming videos than there used to be. But on the other hand, there aren't that many people who are reliably making videos. There are tons and tons of channels who've made between like 5 and 15 videos. But the people who make, I'll say, more than 3 videos a week and have more than like 50 or 60 videos on their channel, that's a more exclusive group. Like there aren't that many guys who are really, putting a lot of effort into YouTube all the time. Right? That list is much smaller, and it's still possible to break in. It's not going to happen for everybody, and it kind of reminds me of Hollywood, right? So in Hollywood, there are certain genres that are kind of taken, like if you want, I don't know, the hot teenage girl or something, then maybe Megan Fox sort of owns that market. There's only so many of those hot teenage girls that people really want to hire, and it's hard to break into Hollywood in the hot teenage girl market, but it's still possible. They still go in. I want to say last year or the year before, it seemed like YouTube was kind of established, and the winners were the winners and the losers were the losers, and then Syndicate broke in, and he became this like crazy successful star. I want to say Captain Sparkle's around the same time. Like people, he's in the Minecraft world, but people really sort of noticed him, and he was a channel that grew after a lot of the channels that were already big were doing their thing. lately Minnesota Burns, right? You know, he didn't get big because of the shout out. A lot of people are going to point to that like one night Twitter feud, but dude, a one night Twitter feud did not make his channel. People's channels grow because people like to watch their stuff, and that is my advice to a new YouTuber. One, don't give up after 5 videos, right? If you're only 5 videos in and you're saying, oh, it's just impossible to get noticed like it used to be, then you're a quitter. You know, that's the deal. And you know, the other part of it is that you know, you got to make videos that people like. That's really what it's all about. It's persistence and it's quality. And you know, what else do you say? I remember Only Use Me Blade talked about YouTube success at one point, and the way that he put it was this: he's like, you know, you have to be a personable guy. He's like, you know, think of yourself at the cafeteria table. Think of yourself, you know, at a bar. You know, are people laughing at your jokes? You know, are you the center of attention? Like, if that's who you are, then you probably are the sort of guy who can do well on YouTube, right? And I have no doubt that's who Only Use Me Blade is, right? You know, if you ever talk to him, he has this kind of like casual, relaxed confidence about him that's just attractive. It is. And yeah, sorry, Blade, full homo. But like that's kind of the vibe that he gives out. I don't know what vibe you give out, but whatever vibe that is, you know, is it working for you? You know, if you easily make new friends, if you are a personable guy, if you are whatever, quick to laugh and smile and enjoy what you're up to, then you probably do pretty well in YouTube commentary, right? You know, people need to like who you are. If you're a quiet guy, maybe you don't have enough life experiences to tell any stories, maybe you quickly go blank in your head when it comes time to carry a conversation, or just don't feel like you have much to add, then YouTube is going to be an uphill battle for you, because it's like the YouTube commentator scene is built for extroverts, or at least people who can turn that, you know, inner extrovert on when it's time to make a commentary. So in summary, what I'm saying is that, you know, the tricks and tactics that people use to grow channels, leeching off somebody else in one way or another, I'm not a big fan of those. I don't think it's even working. Maybe, you know, forming genuine friendships and growing as a team as opposed to by yourself actually does work. You know, if you have a couple friends that do YouTube, work with them, become a little network, give yourself a name, do your thing. But really, it's about making good videos that people enjoy, and it's about being the sort of guy that people like to hear speak. That's my advice for you. So yeah, there it is. Maybe I'll do a part 2 to this video if you guys have great counterpoints, or if you know, if there's more that comes into my head. But for now, I think I'm about ready to wrap it up, and I hope that you guys liked what you saw. Have a good day. Alright, if you're still here, perhaps I've earned your like. If you're new around here and you enjoyed the video, you can click on that blue box in the top right and subscribe to my channel. 2 videos you may have missed. On the left one, what it's like to go pro on YouTube, and on the right one, I give an update on what's going on with Painkiller already. So have a good day. I'll talk to you later.